Sometimes our tables can be a lot more complex than just a simple one. By default, all the rows have the same number of cells and all columns also have the same number of cells. Sometimes this is not helpful to us and we need to make some adjustments. We may need less cells in one or more row or column, or more cells in either. In Word, we can easily do this. In this session, we will learn how to merge and split cells. Please make sure you've got open Task 17 Merging and Splitting Cells document, and let's follow along. Okay, sometimes we may have to make some adjustments to our table. Now this is a simple table. We've got the same amount of cells in each row here, and we've got the same number of cells in each of our column. Now sometimes this is not what we want, so we're going to have a look at this. I'm going to put my title here into my table up the top here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click into here. Now remember, there's several ways I can insert a new line above or new row above this one here. I can go to the top up to my table layout and I can insert above. I can right click here and insert a row above, or I could use the little arrow across that's beside here. I'm going to actually use this one, insert row above. So now I have a row here, and I'm going to just move this text here into, by clicking and dragging it into my table here. Now I'm just going to, it looks like I've got a space underneath here, so I'm going to get rid of that space. And now I'm going to center this across all of my headings. But how do I do that when I've got 4 cells here? So what I can actually do is highlight all of these here, and I'm going to make these into one cell by merging it. Okay, so I go down, right click here and go merge, or I can go to my layout up here and I can merge my cells up here. Okay, now what that does then is it makes this actually one cell here instead of 4, and now I can actually center my heading over the top of that. So I'm going to center that. Remember, our shortcut for center is Control E, and I think I'll make it a bit bold as well. Alright, so now I've got my first merge here, okay, one cell. Now if I want to actually put another column in here, it may be a little bit difficult, because what happens is when I go to put to click on the top of this column here, it makes it difficult because it's selecting everything. So what I can do is a really quick temporary fix for this is, while I'm clicked in this second row here, I'm going to go back up to my layout, and I have an option here called Split Table. Now what that does is it splits this table here into 2 tables, and sometimes that can be useful, but I only want to just do something here very quickly. So now I can go back in here, I can click on this column here, insert, if I want to, a new column to the left here, and I can then merge this back out, join these 2 tables together. How I do that is I click in here and I then just go delete that space in between, and it brings our table back in together. Now if I want to get rid of this column here, it's just a matter of the same. I go up to my layout, I split my table, I select this one, get rid of it by deleting that column, and then I just go back in here, and notice before I do that, when I added in the column, it actually changed its size to fit my table. This time it hasn't. So with this one here, when I delete it here, I may have to go back here and grab my table and fix it back up to here. So now I've merged my table here, my row here. Now I'm going to put in another one here. I'm going to actually do some splitting down the bottom here. So I'm going to add a couple of extra rows in here. So I'm going to press tab down the bottom here, put my cell in here and tab again. So now I've got 2. I want this one here to be one line similar to my one up here, just as a separation between the information I've got above it from this information down here. So I'm going to highlight that, right click, and I use the merge cell down here, but remember you can go back up to the layout and use the option up there as well. So now I've got a merge cell down here because that kind of separates this bit of information from what I'm going to put down the bottom here. So down here, what I'm going to do is an authorization sign off for the 5 weeks that we're doing this. So I'm just going to write in here authorization sign off. Sign off. Actually, it's one word, isn't it? Off. Okay, and I'm going to move this. Whoops. I want to highlight this one here, and I'm going to move this over just enough space here so that that is not doubled up or wrapped with the texting of it. Okay, I'm then going to select this information here, and I'm going to merge that into one. So I merge that into one. Now the reason I've done that is because I want to actually split this now into 5 equal cells here. So now what I do to split a cell is while it's highlighted, I can do 2 things. I can go up to my layout up here and I can split the cells, or I can right click and split cells as well. So with the split cell one option open, I've got a window here, and I now want to make 5 columns and 1 row in there. So I go OK, and now I've actually created 5 cells out of that 1 cell that was here. So now I can do this as a sign off, but I'm going to do something just a little bit extra as well. I'm going to actually name these week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4 and 5. So I can do that by selecting this one here, and I'm actually going to not split the columns, I'm going to split the row here. So I'm going to right click here and use this option down here, which is the split cell, the same as up the top there at the layout one. I select that and I want 1 column only, and this time I want to change that to 2 rows. So I press on that. Now I can't do all 5 at the same time. I'll show you why in a second. I'll just cancel that. Okay, if I select all 5 of them and then go try to select my split cell, it won't recognize it. You can only do 1 cell at a time when we're splitting. So we'll go back to this one here, right click it, split that cell into 1 column and 2 rows. Okay, now I've got the 2 rows here now and only 1 on this bit here. So I can now do the same with this one. So I could go click in here, right click and go up to my layout and split again. Or there is another function here that I can do that repeats the last formatting task that I did. So my last one before I clicked into this one was to split this table into 2 rows. So because I haven't touched anything else except for selecting this here, if I go Control Y, it does the same function as I just did. Again, if I click into here and do Control Y and Control Y, I now have my rows all selected here. I could have just selected each one, gone up the top here to layout and split the cells that way, or like I said with this one, it's just a quicker way than having to do all of that extra assigning how many rows or columns you have. So Control Y, very handy. You can use that for any function as long as it's the last thing that you did and before highlighting the cell that you want. If, however, you do something else, even a backspace or something like that, it won't repeat what you have done. All right, so now I've got in here, I can now write in here week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, and week 5. Okay, now this one here, I'm going to just very quickly align this one. Okay, it's at the moment it's up the top here. I want it to be centered here. So what I can do is just select this cell here, and I can go up to my layout button here, and in this one here I have some alignment options. Now this gives me 9 options. It can be my top left hand corner, top middle, top right, center left, center right, bottom left, middle bottom, and my aligned bottom right. So in this case here I actually want it on the left hand side but in the center, so I choose that one there. So now I have in my table here, I have my heading here, I have my authorization sign up here with some tick ones that they can sign off as each week is done. Alright, now something else I can do as well here. So in my table here I've got week 1 and week 1 here, and I've got some information there. Now I don't need to repeat that week 1, I could just have that as one lot. So what I can do here is merge these two information together. Now we just have to be careful here because we've got the week 1 written here. What it will do is take the information and put it all together, and that's okay because we can in this case because we can get rid of one of them. So it has got rid of this and made this one cell, and I just now need to get rid of that first one there. Okay, and we have 2 week 3, so let's do the same with that one. So I highlight them, I go down to merge, I get rid of that second label there, and that's all of those ones. Now just so that I've done the same here, I'm just going to highlight all of these. I'm going to go up to this option again and just choose that center middle, align left center here. Okay, what that does is it just puts that information so that it's shared equally amongst the rows that it has that it is joined to. Alright, so that's how we merge cells and we split cells here. So now I've got a task for you to do. I've got this table here, okay, which has got Cafe Fit Out. It's got a couple of names here that are similar. All right, we've got some items here, some descriptions of them, and numbers there. I would like you please to, if you can, make your table above here look similar to this one here. So this is just a picture of it so you know what you want it to look like, and let's see how you're going to go. So you're going to have to put your heading in your table and merge that. You're going to have to put an extra row down here and an extra one here, and then put in a merge some of these together and then split this into 10 cells here. So, and then you can use your formatting options that we've done in previous sessions to make your thing look as close as you can to this one here. Alright, once you finish that, please upload that one to your number 17 activity in your LMS.